My friends be like, how come you not famous yet? I be like, you didn't share my shit. How come you ain't shared it yet? That's what I don't understand. That's why I'm not famous.
You can't tell me you ain't got no vagina. The vagina is
Kiddy, you make it
Don't interrupt me. Let me finish. The vagina is a muscle, and it's just like this. If I go in the gym and I work out for a number of months, this shit right here will be flashing. The vagina is a muscle. Y'all need to got Kegel exercise. They ain't got pussy weight.
All jobs ain't made the same. See, you make it sound like all y'all. That's what killed me.
What's up? How you doing, old 4-5?
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Me llamo 4-5, el diablo asqueroso.
Muy bien. What's up, y'all? Shout out to everybody that I know y'all seeing us for a second time. Shout out to everybody that tuned into Manuscript in the morning. We had a good run this morning. 4-5, how you been, babe?
Huh?
I already asked you that.
You what?
I already asked you that, how you was doing. And
oh yeah, I'm doing
yeah. We I minimized how many places I put it because we weren't catching all y'all's comments. So if y'all don't mind, if you are already on the feed, please share. So we can get everybody that's in here. Today's show is kind of a part, I guess you could kind of say it's a part 2 to last week's show. Last week's show was a little, it was a little litty. And one of the things that we discussed within last week's show happened to be traditional values, and we decided that we're gonna come back and we gonna dig a little deeper with these traditional values. The first question when I brought this to you last night, the first question that popped up was, what are your traditional values? Matter of fact, I told y'all to write it down if some of y'all caught the announcement last night. What are some of your traditional values?
As far as being
in a relationship.
Oh, in a relationship. That's what I'm saying. As far as being in a relationship and being a gentleman, you stick with the provide and protect rule, of course. All right.
Right.
And I believe in chivalry. I just believe in chivalry, and my ultimate rule, I mean, you hear me say it all the time. I always bring up reciprocity. So mine is the golden rule, right? And that's in chivalry and with anything. If you bring that into the relationship, then I feel like you'll be all right. So meaning what you do for me, I shouldn't have a problem doing it for you in return, and vice versa, right? That's reciprocity.
Right.
That's just, do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So these are okay.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying these are just what I believe for my own traditional, if you want to say, is traditional values. I just think it's part of moral character and stuff, and moral character, decency, all that. You know what I'm saying? Just being a decent person in the relationship, or at least trying to be, because you're not going to be perfect. Right. There's going to be shit said. There's going to be arguments. There's going to be things that's,
out of your hand.
Right. Then but that's relationships, right? And that's when it takes your partner to, maybe be a little mad with you or calm you down or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So you can get through those little times. But we're going a little bit into the intricate details of it. But You know,
Right.
for me, the main thing is reciprocity and just, being good to your person, being good to your
Mhm.
mate.
I posed a question. A majority of the females, I asked them, do you what first I asked, what do you think a traditional woman / man is? The
Mhm.
women were more so they talk more about what the traditional man is than they did the traditional woman. I will put that out there for y'all females. I'm gonna need y'all to come a little harder. And a lot of them put emphasis on the traditional man protecting and providing, you know. And with men, it was about submission. Matter of fact, when they put that up there, I asked the question, dear men, what is your idea of submission? And I want to read some of these comments. Um, First of all, I want to get off into the actual definition of submission. Hey Siri, give me a definition for submission.
Submission means the action or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force, or to the will or authority of another person. Do you want to hear the remaining one?
Thank you, girl. You done been more than helpful. And there was a conversation basically where the women were like, what these men are describing, and I ain't gonna lie, I was in agreement with the women. What a lot of these men were describing was shit like you need a servant, or you basically want a child. Um, One of the most interesting comments that I had on here came from my cousin Ricardo Wyrick. He said, look at the word. It means to obey or yield to. Being submissive in a relationship just means she can follow directions. She understands the assignment without having to remind her. A woman like this is hard to come by, but when you do get a woman that's naturally submissive and it's the things you want without always having to repeat yourself, now that's rare. Most men take advantage of it the wrong way, thinking that he has a maid, but that's not sexy at all. Submission is a sexy, compassionate gesture. Not at all should you ever feel pressured or slave. You got to be able to tell that heifer to do something by looking at her some type of way. And to me, because I even went there, I asked him, did he think that submission was a two-way street? And he said that men, by no means necessary, are supposed to be submissive. And that's
Submission.
why I wanted to pull this up. Because I don't think he's the only man that think like that. Most men think that it's just a one-way street, that they're supposed to just find a woman, and this is a traditional value. This is what grandmother has shown us, because grandmother did yield and do what Papa wanted, and Papa had to do with look. Hell, Papa didn't have to say too much. And we got into that conversation about what our great great grands have taught us and stuff like that. But I think for the most part, men see traditional women as being submissive.
Right. As being submissive, I agree with that, but I think that in your particular little group session and whatnot, I think what is being forgotten is the fact that with a man's protection and providing, he is in submission to his woman.
Boom! Yeah, there we go. Thank you. That's part of the reason why I brought it to you, because I'm just like, I'm listening to all the young men on I'm reading all their comments, and it just seems to me like the woman is the one in their head with traditional values, and I get it. It's from what they've seen in their head. The woman is the only one that's supposed to be submissive.
But see, and when we talk about submission too, it's I think that word is it's the we've talked about this before. I think it's just the in the word
The word.
submission, right?
And that's why a lot of women be like, man, boy, fuck you.
Right. Right, because
I ain't no slave.
all it really is submitting to the providing and protection that your man is giving to you. And that's not saying when he says jump, you jump. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not necessarily saying that, but it is saying, hey, if he sees a fucking crack in the road that you need to jump over and he says jump instead of trying to walk over it, you probably need to jump. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. You know, but I think we get a little too caught up in the wording of things, and we want to make them. We want to demonize the word instead of actually looking into the definition thereof. You know what I'm saying? Because even in the definition in itself, it's not saying that you're giving up who you are or giving up. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of women, when they hear that word, I think they feel like that means that they're giving up every fiber of their being to this. But in reality, when we're not talking about just a relationship. We're talking about like in that sense, we're talking about marriage, because we're not. The submission has nothing to do with relationships. When in all reality, you still single. You can be boyfriend, girlfriend all day long. You know what I'm saying? But we're talking about actually in a marriage, right? And when we're talking about submission in that fashion, and you know, again, submission is definitely there's, and this is not in. You know, I think for men, I think when you say that it's a two-way street, I think men automatically they demonize it too, right? Because they see it as being what is going into
They think
being.
it's weak.
They call it simping, right?
Yeah.
It's simping,
You're
but it's not right. But it's not simping when you are a man and doing your duty to your wife as being the provider and the protector, right? But understand what I just said. Your duty to your wife.
Roland told me to read his comment that he made on that particular post. It says, in my opinion, it's putting the family before self, making sure the household is safe and taken care of first. It's not questioning every decision your husband makes. It's being available and allowing your man to be completely open with you without judgment. It's knowing when to lead and when to fall back, and allowing your husband to be the head of the household. I can agree with that. Different things work for different people. So there is no one answer that fits all types of situations. It's a woman wholehearted. I think he's trying to say if a woman wholehearted, it is a woman wholeheartedly believing in and supporting her husband. Men also have to submit to their wives in certain situations. It's a two-way street. Thank you, Rolo. These are all opinions, so no one's answer should be critiqued, because what may work for one person may not work for another. And I just want to say, in light of, because I challenged a couple of niggas on the post, in light of that, I just wanted to say, y'all, it was just me provoking the conversation so that, you know, it can kind of go in line with what a lot of the things that we're going to be discussing today. The next question that I heeded was, do you think that you are a traditional man or woman? Do you think you're a traditional man, 45?
No, because I'm from outer space. I believe my love is a space love, and that's where the fuck I belong. But as far as for traditions, as far as for this earth and this earthly ways, then yes, I would say that. But let me rewind back onto submission on this for you women.
Thank you, Matt.
If you look at your marriage like you do your job, you wouldn't have a problem.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me give you a bomb, bro. Hold that thought. That was something that I posed as well. If you don't think that a man is supposed to submit, you go up there and clock in with that white man, and if he tell you to straighten up, do the job like I told you to do, you gonna submit to his ass. So why is it that you come home to the person that really loves you and you can't submit to none of the shit she asks?
And see, and this is where I have a I have a serious problem with it all the way around because you see you some of y'all work with your man at the same job and you don't have a problem watching your man submit to somebody else. You'll watch it go on. You'll watch him endure shit because he ain't in your department or whatever, because y'all can't be in the same department.
Right.
But you'll watch him endure shit that you ain't got to endure. You'll watch him go through a whole hell of a lot of shit, and then as soon as y'all get home, you causing conflict. You know what I'm saying? And let's just be real about it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If you want to say submissive, I mean, even in that, right? Let's do another analogy with it, right? Some women are and have been part of the military. You didn't have a problem jumping over them goddamn obstacle courses when they told you to do it.
Yeah.
You didn't have a single solitary. No woman at any job has any problem. And if you are in the military or not, in any job, do you have a problem doing what Mr. Johnson told you to fucking do? Now, when you carry in this man's last name, you will still go in that job and do what Mr. Johnson says do. And when you get home, you have a responsibility towards your husband.
Right.
You don't even understand what the word husband means and husbandry. He has to be the cultivator of his house. There is, in every business, there is a CEO and a COO, a chief executive officer who takes the heat, right? Because they the face. They take the heat of it. But that COO is just as goddamn important, though just a step below.
That's who's holding it
Right?
all together. Yeah.
What's the chief? The COO is the chief operations officer. How about you women start celebrating being a COO?
Right.
I
And
don't
with it,
need no woman CEO.
right. Right. And I think this kind of goes with what I'm about to say. Rob Rolo said lots of women say can't nobody tell me nothing though. And it's a mindset 100%. That's why a lot of women said that they believe that they were the traditional woman. And I'm here to tell you, as a woman, a lot of y'all are not the traditional woman. And I know that's gonna hurt. I'm probably gonna get some backlash for that, but it is what it is. Fuck it. It's cool when they do it. When I do it, it's a problem.
Because be real. Because be real on it, Kiddy. Shit. There is a vast majority of women out there that can't even cook a meal that they mama taught them to cook.
Oh, that's gonna hurt a lot of bitches. That's gonna hurt a lot of motherfucking bitches. The traditional woman is a good cook. In my opinion, this is my opinion. These are not
She
all
has to nurture her house.
exactly. Yeah. And a lot of y'all are taking your kids to McDonald's, Mickey D's, and you know what I'm saying? I'm guilty of it.
Process.
I have. A lot of y'all are filling these kids up with a whole bunch of processed food. And you go to your house, half your house is not clean, your house is nasty, dishes not washed. That's not traditional. Those aren't traditional. Y'all really not traditional women. And me, honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think I'm a traditional woman. I don't, because I see things differently and I'm a lot more strong-minded. And that may be something I have to work on, because a nigga told me in the comments, bitch, that's why you're not married. That's why you ain't got nobody.
Hold on, no. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's why. You may be headstrong in certain values, okay? But to be a traditional woman, number one, is understanding that your children are the reflection of your household. Okay? and how your child acts and how they respond to the environment outside of them is a reflection of you in particular as a woman, especially if that child is up under the age of 12 years old. Okay, so the things that you named, right? You make sure that there, one, okay, you don't have a man in the house, because we're talking about 80% of the motherfucking female population with black women, right? So you don't have a man in the house, but you have a roof over your head. You do know how to cook. Your kids are fed. They are clothed well. Now, what could help you and what we forget, since we want to talk about tradition, you see, it was tradition for a man to go out and say, yeah, I don't want to deal with no woman who has kids. But if she did have kids and he saw her fit, guess what he did? He offered his protection and his providing, right? He provided and protected for her as a man should.
Rip down there, and I can say, and I can testify that in his household he does submit to Shanika. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that she don't submit to him, but you know, that's going back to the comment I was talking about when he said that he don't feel like men should be submissive. They going on how many years of marriage? You and Shanika Rip? So me personally, I do think y'all are a traditional household. For the first part, it's two of y'all. Y'all been thugging it out with each other with the two. You got the same two kids by the same two different people. I have witnessed tradition within that particular household.
But ask them this. Ask them if every one of them vows had been scraped at, nicked at, picked at, or whatever. It's about the strength of those two.
Right.
You know, right. It's about the respect.
Balance over 25 years. Absolutely.
You got to have, you got a man and a woman, and he has to respect her in her ways, and she has to respect him in his ways, right? And not only that, but again, your vows, right? Through thick and thin, sick and health, rich and poor, all that shit. I guarantee you, if you've been in a relationship or a marriage, as long as those two have or are going into that length, it's touched and it is nicked and it is bitten at every one of them vows. But what has kept them together and strong? These are the things that we need to focus on when we are talking to people who are in marriages who have lasted the test. Because the tests aren't just outside entities, right? The tests aren't just this man shooting at this woman who's married, or this woman who's shooting at this man who's married, or whatever the fuck the case may be, right? It's other things. It's economical issues. There's fucking spirituality issues. There's things, sometimes you just run into some shit that we just don't see eye to eye on. But how did you keep going from that? Right, and we don't focus on them things to not only that, but we don't focus on those things to celebrate those couples. Right. All we focus. Yeah. My bad.
Yeah, I don't want to get the comments too full. Robert Rolo said, "You haven't met the man that makes you feel." Oh, say this, and this ain't just about Kiddy, y'all. You haven't met the man that makes you feel secure and protected, so you can put your guard down so you stay looking for mess. Once the man for you comes, you will do it all naturally, and that's something that I wanted to say. Submission is not really about, it is about control, but it's not about control. When a woman feels that a man is submittable to, she gonna drop her guard and she gonna let that man lead her without force. I seen a post where a dude said something about make a woman submit to you. No, nigga, you can't make a woman submit to you. A woman has to do that freely. And if she's not doing that freely with you, bro, focus on yourself.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Because, and here's another thing with that, right? Everybody, if you can ignore it, but there's a spark in between each and every one of us when we have a relationship, and it jumps
Right.
off, right? And that spark in that a woman is such that she is not. You know the term? Do you know the saying? One man's trash is another man's treasure,
Treasure. Right.
right? That right there, when you think about that, right? A man can be with a woman and it didn't work, right?
I tell women all the time, y'all be bragging about taking men from women, or the women that you done took the man from is like, well, she ain't me. Damn right. You're never gonna get that man is not gonna be to you what he was to me. And I'm not gonna be to that man what I was to another man. It's always gonna be a different vibration.
Thank you. And that's where I was getting to on that, because I'm trying to talk to men on this, because you know what I'm saying? We have our biggest issue is ego. And a man with a bruised ego is just as bad as a miserable bitch. But men get their egos bruised because they'll see a woman that they was with and she's doing something that she never did with him. Well,
Other man.
she may learn, she may have, if you may have been the stepping stone in her life that made her realize, I need to do this.
Boom. There you go.
You know, and you know, it hurts. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt to see somebody you called yourself in love with doing more for somebody the fuck else. It's gonna hurt
Right.
like a motherfucker. But see, the thing is, you're supposed to learn too. Because why did you
Right.
lose this person?
Right.
Why did
Right.
you lose this person? You see
Right.
what I'm saying?
My other question was, do you think you deserve a traditional woman or a traditional man?
Do you think you? Yes,
You think you deserve a traditional woman?
I think all women and all men deserve traditional men and women in their lives. I think all of them, all of us do. We just now talked about it, Kiddy.
We have
Right?
to weigh that though, baby, because let's think about, we talked about this last week. Let's think about tradition in the 1900s versus tradition in the 2000s. People look
Okay.
at it differently.
Okay. Well, see, this is why I'm saying, because see, my mind is going, because I know I know because we kind of did touch on that, but what I'm saying here is that, like, in thinking of this stepping stone analogy that I just made, right? And that you actually, even though it may bruise your ego, you actually helped her. And in everything that you should have learned in that relationship, it should help you to further yourself with if you moving on, right? But in that helping, you know, the things that you learned as a man and she learned as a woman to go on and be a better man or woman for somebody the fuck else, that did what? It changed your values, right? It changed who you are. Maybe those things shaped you to being a more traditional person. Because let's get real, if there was no value in traditional human beings, if there was no value in that whatsoever, we wouldn't be talking about it.
That part. This is gonna tie into Rip's comment. He said it's all about if the man got the same values, which poses the next question that we discussed. Do we agree with traditional values? I'm gonna be real with you. I don't, because just because we hear traditional and we think that just because it's traditional, it's
In a
either gonna
box.
work with us, it's gonna work for us, or within traditional, we have to go back. This is why I said we need to do this show, because you was talking about grandma and papa last week, and we were talking about how grandma set up and was content with Pawpaw going out and making other families.
She wasn't content with it.
She wasn't content with it, but she was chill about it. And she may not have even been chill about it, but it was just something that this is traditional. And I was also talking about how we carried that tradition on in an unspoken manner, because now we got a whole bunch of baby mamas and we got a whole bunch of men. For example, like the young man we talked about in a past show with the 30, how many kids did that nigga have?
34.
34 kids.
34 kids.
34 kids.
And we didn't touch on it all the way, did we, Kiddy?
How many? And think about how many kids Pawpaw had.
God damn.
So to that man, that's some tradition that to that man.
It possibly.
And that's why he don't see shit wrong with it. When what's really wrong with it is you didn't marry not now one of them women.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes back to my question: do we agree with traditional values? Because this man ended up on Ayanla Vanzet's show mostly because them women don't agree with traditional values.
Right. Oh, but whoa. Yes, they did. They agree with traditional values. Yes, they do.
No, if they did, they would have got a ring before they spit out them babies, bro.
Yeah.
We say we want tradition, but we don't. The physical don't line up with our idea.
Yeah, that's true.
Rip said, yes, women work now. Cost of living is different. The relationship bricks are different today. Your love and wants will drive your household. And he said that he agrees with traditional value because I don't never think of nothing else.
Yeah.
Let me get Rolo out the way and then we're going to move forward. He said, once you get married, you'll change and your approach and mindset changes. No woman is okay with the other family stuff, but the foundation they built has in the beginning allowed them to make it through their storm. Marriage ain't for everyone. But
true.
do we but marriage is part of those traditional values though.
Right.
So going back to that, do you think you deserve a traditional, and this is just for thought. Folks, I done already answered it. I want y'all to really, really dissect and manifest on this. Do you really think you deserve a traditional woman or man?
Shit. And please, hey, hold on. And please make the distinction between a traditional and your Kevin Samuels high value man.
I knew you were coming with this high value ass shit.
Because you know I can't stand that goddamn shit. Which one you think is high value? Because you got a Lamborghini, you got a big house that ain't got shit in it. I don't care nothing about that.
Should we hold on to traditional values?
We should.
You think so?
We did, because there's sustenance in traditional values. There is sustenance in it. You know, there are some things like you ever here. This is what I'll put it to you like, right? There's sustenance in traditional values, but we do, as time goes on, Kiddy, we do learn that some traditions cannot be held up because they just don't stick, right?
And they don't work though. Some, and I know I'm probably gonna get a bash for this, but a lot of those traditional values do not work.
Right. So here I'm gonna give you a quick story, and this was handed down from generations in my family, right? There was a little girl who asked her mama. I've said this before. She asked her mama, why we cut the end off the roast before we put it in the oven? Mama said, I don't know. My mama did it. Go ask your grandma. She said, okay. She would go ask grandma. She said, Grandma, how can we do that? And grandma said, I don't know. I did it because my mama did it. And she's still alive. Go ask your great grandma. She went to great grandma. Great grandma said, she said, great grandma, why do we cut the end off the roast? She said, well, baby, we cut the end off the roast because the roast was too big for the oven.
So with that being said, a lot of these traditional values are being passed down just because that's what the fuck you've been taught. And that's what I be talking about when I know I use that all the time when I say we are conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
We are conditioned. Some women, a lot of women, our women are conditioned to just put up with a lot of the shit because it's tradition. It's tradition for me to fight over this man with another woman because I'm going to stick beside him. In marriage, we don't believe in divorce. Divorce is looked at as the ugliest thing, but a lot of women didn't get the divorces because all they ever been taught is stand by your man.
Right, and they should. But hold on, Kitty, because what we found is that since we put in divorce in part of our tradition now, because we can't say that it ain't.
It is a part of tradition now. Yes.
Right. We see that in more cases than not, it don't work. So I'm saying that in saying this. Okay, sometimes just like with a car, right? You made a decision on this car. You thought this was the best goddamn thing you was gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
You got in that motherfucker a year later. God damn it!
I hate this car.
I can't stand this car.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a relationship ain't a car. And in saying that, sometimes, as a woman or as a man,
Mm-hmm.
you stay and put up with shit that you probably wouldn't have put up with out of nobody else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it probably lasted for 30, 40 years. You understand what I'm saying? Because grandma stayed. But you got another grandma who left.
Bye. I'm probably that grandma.
See? But we're okay with different strokes for different folks until it affects us.
It's cool when they do it.
See? And we gotta get past it. We gotta get past it's not ignorance, but we gotta get past. I think a lot of it for men, again, I've said it and I'll say it again, a lot of it is ego. And for women, it's ego too, right? Because you got to be a stone cold fool to believe today in 2023 as a woman that nothing of tradition is of value and is of substance, and it doesn't equate to anything. You got to be a stone cold fool, especially listening to how many men are coming across saying, "I want a sandwich." And you can't make one.
Oh, now you helping me segue into this next question that we posed last night. Do you expect traditional values?
When you damn sure do. Women, you expect your man to be a protector and provider. Men, be honest. You expect your woman to be a nurturer in her fucking house, in the fucking house. You expect her to know how to raise your goddamn kids.
Right.
You expect her to know how to do you right. You expect her to know that when you get your ass home from a 12-hour shift, she had better had a hot fucking plate on the motherfucking table like her mama taught her or her grandmama taught her, whoever she was up under.
And that motherfucking roast need to have the butt cut off of it.
Not mine, baby, because I like to.
Yeah, go ahead. Come on with it. I want to get this live on KiddyPinkRadio. Hit him up.
But yeah, I really do believe that you don't get into marriage. Not that, I mean, let me
I don't
ask you
think
this.
anybody gets into. You right. I don't think anybody gets into marriage. She accepts that ring, and he gets down on his bended knee, expecting traditional values. It's an
Why though?
expectation.
Why though, Kitty? Why does she expect traditional values? Because you're doing a traditional ceremony,
That
asshole.
part.
What is marriage? Is marriage not tradition?
What's up,
Somebody help me.
Blackbird? That's Johnny Judah. I know. What's up, Bubba? He said, I expect some traditional values. Chris don't cook much because we're entrepreneurs, but I don't trip on it. Excuse me.
But Johnny, she can cook though.
Right. You know
And
for a fact she done threw down.
yeah, and on top of that, you know what I'm saying? The Johnny and Chris's relationship is a little bit different because they met later in life, right? But if we're talking about a marriage, right? You have the relationship has grown into saying we are going to get married. Marriage is a tradition. You are putting yourself in that tradition. In that tradition, the man provides and the
And the
woman
woman,
protects.
that
I mean, the man
the
provides and
woman
protects, and the woman
and
nurtures
the
the house.
woman is
She
nurtures. Yeah.
right, right, right,
Um,
right. So all I'm saying is, if you put yourself in a traditional role, why would you not expect to be judged with traditional eyes?
and see, he said, Chris, they're both entrepreneurs. That's not the traditional marriage.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not
Right.
the traditional marriage. So in that, their marriage is traditional, but the things that they're doing in their marriage is not. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay. But what we find is that two individuals, they figure out a way. If they love each other,
They figure out, they
they
compromise.
figure out a way.
To
They
me, that's
figure out a
tradition.
way.
To me, that's tradition, because even
Right.
though grandmother probably wasn't pleased with grandfather having other kids, she made a compromise.
Uh-huh. You know what else grandmama did when she made that compromise? When uh Miss Jane's kids came around, they called your grandmama mama.
That part. That part. Yeah. Rip said, like I said earlier, the love and wants of the couple will drive the household. Most definitely. Most definitely. And even within their marriage, not having traditional shit, like I said, that's another marriage that I feel like is traditional, but they don't, you know what I'm saying, so much just operate completely off of tradition. It works for them. And Johnny now, shit, they just had an anniversary. Wasn't it 15?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They've been together for a long time. So
A long time.
obviously that works for them.
Right.
So in saying that, you really just have to do what works for you.
Exactly.
Tradition or not.
Exactly. Tradition or not, if you put yourself in these traditional roles, and some things people on the outside looking in say, hey, this ain't quite what we think it should be.
Mm-hmm.
It's not their marriage. You have to. I think that's we need to touch on that too, because a lot of times I think, yeah.
Oh, okay. Go. Because we on the same wavelength.
Yeah, Johnny says compromise is why marriage don't work anymore. That's a cuss word nowadays, and it's true. It's true. It's true and factual. But here's the thing: I think compromise is a cuss word nowadays because it's coming from those on the outside looking in.
Right.
And see, a lot of times, we don't understand that the marriage is like this, right? And if we start doing this and allowing the outside to start filter in, look at what happens.
Mm-hmm.
We move apart.
The whole situation dissolves, basically.
Right. So
Yeah.
you have to be in in that mode of, you know what I'm saying, whatever this person or that person is saying, and it doesn't quite fit what they think it should be.
I want to
We
say,
got to keep moving.
I
Yeah,
want
I'm
to
listening.
say the reason I'm speaking as a female, I want to say the reason that a lot of women have a hard time going in the direction of tradition is more so because I think Johnny said this last week. We're baby mamas. We're in the baby mama and the baby daddy era. And a
Hmm.
lot of us are single women raising children. I'm speaking on why it's so hard for women. And we're so used to running everything from the finances to the nurturing to a point to where it's hard for a man to get in there because
Hmm.
you've been in control for so long and it's worked for you. Here he come and now he wants you to compromise. It's like
And
sacrificing yourself. And I think that's why a lot of women are baby mamas without a husband. Is it like you said, that whole ego thing.
hmm
Like it's gonna bruise my ego to let my guard down and let this man do something for me because I've been doing it by myself for so long. More so because I didn't have a traditional way. I didn't make my kids in a traditional way.
You've
You get
been
what
going to
I'm saying?
that. You've been going your stupid ass to that same dumbass mechanic that has been giving you 2 quarts of oil, knowing good and damn well you needed 4. You get with this man. This man say, "God damn, baby, yeah, God damn it, the goddamn car only got 2 quarts of oil in it. What the fuck going on?" He changing your oil now. He adding to your life, and you got a problem because your friend said, "Girl, you had to compromise going to the mechanic."
Mm-hmm.
Think about how ignorant that shit is.
Right.
You
Right.
letting the wrong shit rule your fucking world.
And
And
in my head, go ahead. I'm sorry.
stop worrying about Miss Jane and what your man did with Miss Jane. You worry about raising them kids. You worry about making sure your kids know who Miss Jane's kids are, so y'all don't end up with a bunch of awkward ass motherfucking grandkids and shit running around.
Right.
You
I
understand
think
what I'm saying?
I think we have entirely too many people from the bleachers trying to tell us how to play the game nowadays.
That's exactly right. And you got to another thing too. A lot of times, women, shit, you got to pick. You have to really, just like men do, right? When they get married, they have to start shedding some of them friends they used to kick it with.
Right.
They
Right.
have to shed those friends that they kick it with that they didn't have, that has no respect for
Marriage.
for marriage or for what they partner just did.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? They have to share them. Just
We're
like,
in the simp era, though. Everything that a man does for his woman, and even some women do this, and it makes me so mad. Y'all call it simping, and I don't think a man loving his woman how he loves his woman is simping. I don't think that.
well, I don't think any, this is me and my thought process on that. I don't think any man is really worried about what anybody else got to call him when he
I don't
dealing with
know
it.
about that. We was just
I'm
talking about
saying,
Sierra and Russell, and
I'm
you
saying,
basically put Russell out there like he was a simp.
yeah, yeah, I sure did. And you know why? Because his woman's ass was all out in the air for the rest of the world to see, and
And
he
that
was standing there like he was stand. Did he cover her up like a gentleman, or did
that's
he
you
put her on display?
that's you sitting in the bleachers telling that man how to do that free throw.
No, I'm not telling
Yes,
him how to do shit. I'm
yes.
not telling him how to do shit. I've only, and I'm still never not standing away from decency, my nigga. Y'all didn't really even have to go to that goddamn party if she had a dress like that. It is what it is.
from the
Now,
bleachers telling that man how to play the game.
no, I'm not telling him how to play the game. But you talking about I love the way you putting this analogy out there, but I don't play football. But I have played fucking marriage. And I know this. I know plenty of times my motherfucking woman laid out an outfit for me. And plenty of times I laid out an outfit for her. And if she laid out one and I said, hey, God damn it, she changed it. Just like if she said, hey, God damn it, I would change it.
Johnny said he's not a simp, he's a beta. I don't believe in that whole beta and alpha shit. I don't, because men and women alike have a feminine and a masculine balance. I don't believe in the alpha and beta shit. Rolo says stay out of other folks' business. That's right, Rolo.
I'm staying in their business because I'm just like they grandma them. Grandma said, put them goddamn clothes on. You put some goddamn clothes on. And you should have been telling her to put some goddamn clothes on. That's exactly what you would have heard from grandma them. If they had came in the house and they see her butt ass naked, go put some goddamn, Russell, why didn't you tell her to put some goddamn clothes on? That's what the fuck would have happened. And we need to get back to that. Some of you niggas need the belt. Let's get real about this shit. Some of y'all need to get y'all's ass whipped again.
Oh, God.
Like you don't know no better.
Rolo said, don't nobody dress him. They can buy me stuff, but you can't tell me what I gotta wear and vice versa. Boom! Exactly what I was saying when we were discussing the whole Sierra situation.
If you my woman and I don't want your ass out or people to see the curve of your titties, guess what you better do? She for all of us, though. See, that's all our wives. That's all our wives right there.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Johnny said, I'm not big on alpha versus beta, but the qualities do exist.
They do exist. Kiddy, they can't not acknowledge it.
Rolla said, I've never had to question my wife because I married a respectable woman.
See? And where does respectable woman come from if not from traditional values? I'll wait.
Which brings us back to, are you a traditional woman or man? I don't think you're a traditional man, but that's just me in the bleachers.
Who, me?
That's just me in the bleachers. No, I don't think you're a traditional man.
Well, if you just gonna say that, we'll lay out some facts. If you don't think I'm a traditional man, as far as tradition goes, no, I'm not married now. Thank God.
We'll talk about that.
I saw the light.
We'll talk about that off camera because I'd have to display some of our personal conversations.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all a good friend. I don't tell your business.
But that ain't quite fair though. Because I'm thinking and I'm like, well, that ain't quite fair.
I don't think you're a traditional man. I don't.
Well, not now.
I think you have traditional theories, but I don't think you're a traditional man. Just like I know for a fact I'm not a traditional woman.
So
I have some things that my grandmother passed down to me, but I'm not a traditional woman.
Yes, you're a traditional woman. You know how to cook and clean and keep your goddamn. You keep your kid clean, don't you? Don't you keep your kid clean? Yeah, that's traditional woman. That's all that's required.
So that's all that's required to be a traditional woman.
You keep your shit together and keep your goddamn titties and ass out of everybody's face. That's what you do. Shit.
I ain't gonna say that. I'm not.
Now what do I do? What do I do?
This is not about me or you.
Today it's not
about traditional values. The last question on the list is, if you are out there practicing traditional values, how has that worked for you? Would you say that because you're divorced, I'm asking you this because you're divorced, do you feel like traditional value was withheld within your relationship? Do you think, we've already agreed that traditional values in the 1900s versus the 2000s, completely different ballgame?
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think, I mean, if you want to go back to, as I think, here's another problem that we have when we say traditional. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm looking at traditional as one thing, and I think a lot of times when people say traditional, they start going back into the history of shit in when the time frame was and all that other shit, right? Because you have to kind of throw in the environment and everything else that was going on at that time. But when we're talking about the values of tradition, meaning a
Tell
man
her she can call you
who
back. We trying to finish our show.
hold on.
Tell her she can
I
call you
got a
back in
call that's
4
coming.
minutes.
Yeah. That's my mama though. The traditional shit, the value and shit like that. It's the values that come from it. We're talking about what comes from, you know what I'm saying, a man and a woman from when they decided that they was gonna do something. You know what I'm saying? And then when you realize, hey, uh, uh, hey, we're gonna sit up and we're gonna make this thing work, and we're gonna make it into a marriage, and we're gonna make this thing uh, go into something substantial for the both of us. So and now we're bringing in kids, and we're raising a family, and we're doing all that other stuff, right? You got to go back and look at values from the past to do that. You have to. There's times. Think about this shit, right? Like there was plenty of times when my kids was sick that I called my grandma for
True.
advice,
The
right?
same here.
There's plenty of times when even like now my daughter who's giving me two beautiful grandkids will call my mama for advice in her relationship. We're not talking about like, hey, some simple little kid shit. She calls her for advice in the relationship. You understand what I'm saying? How many times I went to my daddy because my papa wasn't alive.
Johnny said, fuck a traditional value. We're gonna do what makes us work. And I think Rolo's saying the same thing. These labels box you in, and I'm an outside the box type of nigga. Rip said right, because lead killing and scrap do shit our parents didn't allow us to do, and it works. We good.
Right.
So I'm taking it that y'all are saying, like, and it's pretty much my whole point from this conversation. Traditional isn't just because it's traditional. We equate traditional with good.
Right.
And I think it's more so because after traditional we add values.
Exactly.
Tradition don't always work. And it's
No, it don't.
definitely it definitely may not work in this era. So yeah. Thank y'all so much for y'all input. If you're out there and you're picking up from wherever you listening to, Twitch, Twitter, and stuff like this, I wanted to open this conversation up because I strongly believe that this is why we have so many problems with relationships. Nobody thinks about this type of shit, and then we end up either fucking before we need to or getting married before we need to. And neither one of us has talked about this and what this means to us and how important it is. The reason I brought up that particular post on my page is because getting in the inside of men's head, I never in my life knew that some men think like that. Everybody want a submissive woman, but are you going to submit to them bills? Are you going to submit to her needs?
Are we going to submit to bills? Did you say something about some bills?
The traditional man provides and protects. That's why I know you not no motherfucking traditional man. Niggas is out here splitting bills with they bitch.
Oh, well, no. See, that's what you don't know. I do pay for meals. I do pay for meals. That's being real. I pay for meals like a son bitch, and I I do a lot of other things too. And there's some things that you do know about. Damn it, I be forgetting how much we done talked about shit. God damn it.
Yeah, that's why
So
I
you
be
can't.
telling you, bro, say that shit for you know what I'm saying. And it's a lot of men that, and that's why I asked the question: do you think you're a traditional man? Max down here is supporting the 50-50. You're not a traditional man, so you can't be asking for no traditional woman.
I don't ask for a traditional
I'm
woman. You
not
know what I ask
talking
for?
to you, but go ahead.
Mhm. I think a lot of men ain't asking for tradition. They just asking for a good girl. Well, y'all know what a good girl is.
What's a good girl?
You know what a good girl is.
I've been bad all my motherfucking life. What's a good girl?
Well, we want you to be bad when it's time to be bad. You know, when we cut out the lights and then you know, we want you to be bad then.
Rolo
But
said selfishness is the biggest problem in marriage. You have to give up yourself for your spouse. And that goes back to the point that I was making. Submission is a two-way street.
well, yeah, I
Kato,
mean,
I
but
don't know if you listening right now, but if you come back in, because his comment really stuck out to me, because this man said that he don't believe that a man is supposed to be submissive. Men aren't supposed to be submissive. That stuck out to me because he ain't the only man that think like that. A lot of men think it's just the woman's job to be submissive.
no, you know, well, I think we established it
Yeah, we
already.
established that.
Yeah,
I'm just reiterating. Johnny said, yeah, you usually have to give up something you don't want to give to make the marriage work. Right. It's all
yeah,
about reciprocity.
right.
And don't be asking for nothing that you're not willing to, you not willing to do.
Yeah, yeah. And but you got to be willing to do the things that you don't want to do to get the things that you you got to be willing. Because she might like you to do something strange to get
Well,
something strange.
oh my God. See, we going down the yellow brick road. Y'all, this Saturday it's going down. Y'all make sure y'all show up for smokes and jokes.
We're
We
about to have a
still
blast.
we still have tickets on sale. So y'all make sure y'all get them tickets and y'all show up and show out for my brothers. They work real hard on this situation here is a lituation. If y'all going through, I know a lot of us have been going through a lot of things. Depression is at a very, very high percentage right now. Man, y'all go down there, and if you don't smoke, just sit there and get you a little old motherfucking contact. Smokes and jokes, April 1st, 8 p.m. till 12:30 a.m. Y'all make sure that you are in the building. Any last words?
Yeah, and shout out to the Blackbirds. And shout out to Tri-Coastal motherfucking radio.
Woo. Shout out to y'all for showing up and showing out for us this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Manuscript in the morning. We're gonna be trying to give y'all some more of that. We on our way back, bitch. We're working. Y'all watching.
Shout out to Fusion World Radio, Villa Coola.
Right.
Shout out to all of them. J. Rock Obama and them. A shout out to Lady J. Rock and Oasis. Shout out to all the shout outs that I can give, especially to Kiddy Pink Radio, where I get to get down with the get down.
You get to get down with the get down. I can't with you. We haven't discussed it yet, y'all, but I got a feeling that we gonna be trying to we probably gonna do manuscript in the morning again this week. So y'all be looking out for that. Make sure that you go to YouTube and you are subscribed to KTRI The Rhyme. Make sure that you're subscribed to Kiddy Pink Radio. Y'all subscribe, follow, do all that. Anything that you can do to support us. Johnny, you still doing your thing on TikTok, ain't you? I think Johnny has a thing that he's been doing on TikTok. Y'all go over there and support my brother.
The greatest DJ in the DFW area, soon to be the land.
Period. He said, I'm glad you motherfuckers decided to go live instead of that recording. Nah, I'm learning y'all don't like the recorded stuff, and that's why we trying to do Friday. This Friday, we just got this in from the boss. Y'all see it right here, right now. Friday, 9 a.m. We will be going live. I do coffee with Kiddy on Friday, but we'll discuss some more of that later. Yeah, the Plug Collective, bitch. I mean, what else is there to say?
Fleet DJs.
Fleet DJs. I am so sorry. I love y'all. Okay, here go Johnny with the info. I'm gonna get your bro. Send me your flyer.
Yeah, we got it. This is what I'm gonna say. Everybody, look up Johnny Judah. You can't miss it. The gray beard. You can't miss it. Look up Johnny Judah. He is on all platforms.
Him and Christy are doing what's the name of the show, nigga? Help me.
Oh shit. It's on the tip of my tongue. I keep saying one of the Midnight Oasis, but it ain't.
redo.
Yeah, redo.
That's not what the fuck it's called. But throwbacks on me. Thursday at noon Central Time on TikTok. It's Judah fool on TikTok. Caravan, bro, don't do me, bro. I'm sorry. Do you understand how much
Caravan of Dreams? Caravan of Dreams.
You know how much shit we gotta remember. Shit.
Yeah.
All our people is working, man. We putting in that work for the 2023. Y'all make sure that you're tuned in, because like I said, we working, y'all watching. Y'all make sure y'all come back next Wednesday, noon o'clock. We got a banger. And if y'all have ideas for any ideas for topics, hit me up, hit 45 up and say, hey, I need y'all. I want y'all to talk about this right here. And I promise you, we definitely take from what y'all give us, and we try to incorporate it in all our shows and stuff. We love y'all so much. We want you to love yourselves. Petty Gang tomorrow night. Rob C. And shout out to my girl Yvette. She came in and she straight represented. I love the new face. Shout out to my boys. Shout out to my girls. We love y'all. I want you to love yourself. We finna get the fuck up out of here, because we know a lot of y'all lunch breaks is over. Peace.
Is still a chair, even if it's no one sitting there. I don't think they're gonna play this on Kiddy Pink Radio. Send yours in. They'll probably play yours. It's your boy Big Rip, the Coach Professor. We in the streets, never industry. Kiddy Pink Radio.